What's good, y'all? Welcome back to RedditGoss. On this channel, we read and react to the juiciest stories Reddit has to offer. Today, we'll be discussing stories from the subreddit r/true off my chest. All relevant links will be posted in the description below. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, y'all. So today we're switching it up and we're going over to the True Off My Chest subreddit. And from the looks of this title, it sounds like it's going to be fairly juicy. So let's see what's up. I had a revenge affair after. My partner of 5 years, I used to think was super loyal and my soulmate. I noticed during pregnancy, he wasn't the most supportive and sometimes even cruel. This ramped up after birth. He cheated on me when I was 3 months postpartum. I was breastfeeding every 2 hours at night and daytime, so I was beyond tired, and he worked nights, so he'd work at night and sleep during the day. Him and his side chick booked 2 weeks off, not so he could support me with my postpartum anxiety or depression, but so that he could spend every night going clubbing and having nookie with his affair partner. I discovered the affair, broke up with him, but he begged me to come back, and honestly, I relied on him financially. So I did. I was also scared being 25, having a newborn to look after on my own. He told me it was a huge mistake, and he cut things off. He took me on a big date, and unknowingly, he said he left his vape at a friend's house, and we went to pick up. I was in the car while he went to go get it. It was actually his side chick's house. I found out months later. The affair carried on for 5 more months. He spent hours at her house every day after work and claimed he was too tired from work to help out with the baby or to give me an hour to myself to go to the gym. So I never had a break from doing all the childcare, laundry, cooking, cleaning, etc. He'd just come home and go straight to bed. I caught him 3 more times the last 2 we were living apart as the stress raised my cortisol levels so high I could no longer produce milk for our baby. She refused bottles, so I was incredibly stressed out. I couldn't eat and I couldn't get her to eat either. She'd cry in hunger 6, 7 towards the end of each night because my supply was so low. But moving in with my mom, she helped me get her to bottle feed. The last time I broke up with him and came back to our joint home and asked him to leave. He agreed he'd find his own place to stay, then went to go and see his side chick that day and came home begging for one last chance and that he'd prove himself so I can make a decision after a month. I never agreed to this. He just sort of slipped into our relationship again, mostly because he refused all my boundaries of sleeping separately, etc. His affair partner sent threats to me by name and to our baby. We had to get the police involved, which I learned a lot of the truth from. I decided since he was not loyal in the slightest, neither would I. I met someone that was incredible, and for the first time in a long time, I felt good and felt good about myself. I don't regret it. He was a kind, wonderful man, and it showed me how much I was settling for me to even be happily surprised that the guy I asked for consent, which my partner never has and ignores. Long term, I'm working on my exit plan and I've cut things off with the guy because it was unfair on him, but I miss him so much. I don't see a future with my partner anymore, and I guess I see how selfish he's always been. He forced me into an abortion and the next day shouted at me for not wanting to go to a buffet because he was looking forward to it all week. He betrayed me. He made me cry a day before my planned C-section because I didn't want his siblings visiting a few hours after my procedure. And he felt it was all about what I wanted. I really could go on, but it's not how I saw my life. It's not how I saw my life would be. And I'm trying to pick up the pieces and create a better future. This situation is so sad, but at the end of the day, girl, a revenge affair was the least of your issues. You needed to pack you and that baby up, run for the hills and leave his ass with his affair partner. Because it's evident he hates you. It's very evident. I hope that she can go back to her mother and just do what she needs to do for her baby, because this man clearly does not respect her. He does not respect their relationship. He does not take being a father seriously. And she's obviously better off without him. He sounds like a douche. But let's look at these comments. SLJ7 says, is something stopping you from staying with your mom for a while and cutting off all contact with him? I'm getting the sense that you still don't really know how to say no to this asshole. You need to learn that and learn it good. If he is violating your consent, the affair is not the most serious problems you have. It's just the easiest one to acknowledge. Forget revenge. Don't get me wrong, he deserves it. But forget it for your own sake and your baby's sake. Get out. OP responded and said, he's not the reasonable type. He's told me I can leave, but our baby can't. I worry how he'd react if I just left. I know it wouldn't be good, plus we own a home together. I worked so hard to get it and don't really want to let it go. I guess it feels like I'd be losing everything and starting again with nothing. My self-esteem has taken a massive hit, and honestly, I do struggle with telling him no and holding my boundaries because he turns nasty and threatening. I'm starting therapy and we'll be working on this and my codependency too. You're right. There's far worse issues that I'm overlooking. I guess it's become the norm, even though I know it's not normal. I've spoken to solicitors and I'm just trying to make sure I've got enough to support us, even without child support, which he may choose not to give. SLJ7 responded, he can't choose to not give child support if the court orders him to. It's going to be messy, but you've got to get out. You know none of what you've built matters as much as the way things are now. Don't fall victim to the sunk cost fallacy. If you know you can't say no to him, you are not safe there. If he knows you can't say no to him, he can and will take advantage of that, as he seemingly already does. Absolutely. This is a pure example of the sunk cost fallacy. She feels like she's put so much time, effort, blood, sweat, tears, money into this home, into this marriage, into this family. And she feels like if she walks away, she'll be left with nothing. But at the end of the day, your peace, your safety, your baby's safety is worth a lot more than a fucking house. A lot more than some years that you can brag about your friends who don't really know what's going on in your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if the relationship is a hellscape, you know? Okay, let's read more comments. These record 8595 says, find your way out. Shouldn't have to cut off the new guy. Tinkerbell Rock and Roll says, exactly. You don't owe your baby daddy any loyalty. If you really did like the other guy, it's okay to be with him. Just be careful. Take things slowly. You don't want to bounce from one man to another, collecting babies and baby daddies. OP says, yeah, I'm not looking to have another child anytime soon. This experience has traumatized me and is nothing how I thought postpartum would be. I think if and when I end things with my partner, I love to be in a proper relationship with a new man. I really regret cutting him off, but I thought it was unfair on him, but I'd do anything to get him back. No, OP was completely right to think that it was wrong. It is wrong because at that point you were with this man for all the wrong reasons. You met him because you wanted to get back at your hopefully soon to be ex-husband. And you used him for validation, you know, as awful as that sounds. You used him for temporary validation. And honestly, at this state, you're freshly postpartum, you're in a marriage, you really have no business dating anybody. I'm glad that you were able to have that moment of feeling good, but you did right letting that man go and, you know, getting your own shit together because he doesn't need to be in that mess. Let's read more comments. #Sugary says, so go call him back. I'm sure he will answer the phone. Take your baby, go to your mother's house, and consult with legal aid about your separation from someone who doesn't even like you, let alone love you. OP responded and said, this was maybe 3 weeks ago, and I know he was hurt I ended things, so I'm not sure I even have a chance with him anymore. Honestly, I'm scared too. He's made threats about what he'd do if I left, and the plan is to separate. I know I can't stay like this. I'm just trying to find the courage. Humble Campaign says, depends on the state. If she lives in an at-fault state and the husband finds out, then they both have quote-unquote dirty hands in the eyes of the law. She shouldn't have had an affair as she is now at his level and no longer the innocent victim. I hope she was upfront with the AP so not to get his hopes up. Consult a lawyer and follow their advice. Tell them everything up front, even that you've had an affair. Nothing is worse when your attorney has to find out from opposing counsel and they couldn't prepare for it. Your attorney won't voluntarily disclose anything, but can prepare for only of that they know about. And lastly, OP responded, I'm from the UK and we're just engaged, but not actually married. Well then, girl, get the fuck out of here. You're not even married to this man. Grab that baby and go. You have family. Grab that baby and go. File a police report. Let them know your husband is out here threatening you. Get it on the books and go. I'm from the UK and we're just engaged, but not actually married, which makes it a bit unclear when it comes to how to move forward with our house. I spoke with the lawyer, and because we're not married, the affairs don't have any sort of impact. But I told them everything I did, and he did, and they recommended starting to keep evidence as it's an abusive situation at times, which I have done. You are in a tough spot. I wish the best for you. Don't just walk away, though. You said you both own the house. Make sure you get your share of the equity. Absolutely. I mean, OP is lucky she is not married to this man, so she's not legally bound to this man. However, she is bound to him, through the child. And this is why you have to be very careful about getting property with partners, because you just never know where things can go. Especially when, the order of this is just insane. Your boyfriend and girlfriend, you bought this house, you got pregnant, and now you're engaged. All of this was just done, in a, quote unquote disorderly way, if we want to go by society standards. But honestly, she's doing the right thing. Call the lawyer and set up, get your affairs in order so that you can get what's rightfully yours. Either you have him buy you out of the home, or you have to walk away. At the end of the day, your life is worth more than some property. Your baby's life is worth more than some property. You might have to just take the L if it means ensuring that you and your baby are safe. Alrighty, that's all we have for today. Let me know what you think about this situation in the comments below. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subbing and hitting the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload. See you next time. Bye.